I think Colin Graves was saying last year that we don't want to be the richest niche sport in the world, and they are very much in danger of being that.
In 2005, Michael Vaughan's England side triumphed over Australia in one of the greatest Test series cricket has ever seen. England was awash with Ashes fever for one glorious summer, and the sport could have seen a surge in popularity lasting for decades. What happened instead could have a lasting impact on the health of English cricket.
The fact that it's not on the TV as well does make a heck of a difference, I think.
Cricket has shown quite a catastrophic drop in numbers over the last 15-20 years, and I think free-to-air TV has to be a reason, or the lack of it has to be a reason why that is to an extent.
What worries me, without fear of repeating myself, is that if kids don't see their heroes playing cricket on a regular basis on television, will they want to join their local cricket club and play the game? And that's the bit I worry about.
England have regained the Ashes at the Oval, September the 12th, 2005.
Since 2005, participation has dropped quite dramatically. Nearly 50,000 less people were playing regular cricket in 2016 compared to 2013, according to active participation in sport. My name's Louie Elmer, a passionate cricket fan, and I wanted to find out why less and less people in England are playing one of the best sports in the world. It was here at the Oval that England secured the draw, which was seen them regain the Ashes for the first time in 18 years. But it would be the last time English cricket would be on free-to-air TV. Late in 2004, Sky had negotiated a deal which would see them take control of all domestic and international cricket broadcasting rights, starting in late 2005. John Warnett has presented on BBC Radio Kent for over 20 years and formerly commentated on Kent County Cricket Club matches, first for Club Call and then the station.
Exposure, would you say?
It was always my worry when you couldn't watch cricket on the TV. I mean, what can you see at the moment? You can see a highlights package if you're lucky of stuff. That's it. No live cricket at all on free-to-air TV. So I was always worried that if you didn't see your heroes playing cricket, that you would have no desire to follow in their footsteps.
The reality is children haven't been following in those footsteps. But why is this? Is it as simple as cricket being taken off free-to-air TV? Or is cricket facing problems that go beyond the small screen? I spoke to BBC Radio Kent's sports editor, Matt Kher, to try and find the answer.
Again, if you look towards 2005, arguably the greatest series of the modern era for English cricket fans, the fact that cricket went behind paywall almost immediately after that can't have helped. Participation has fallen in terms of grassroots cricket, although that's happened in other sports as well, but I don't think it's helped, certainly.
Bearsted lay claim to being one of the oldest cricket clubs in the world, with a history dating back to 1749. In fact, one of the earliest recorded cricket matches is between London Cricket Club and a Kent side in 1744.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like I say, the kids, because they're not exposed to it, they don't have the interest in it. And the schools, as I say, don't play it a lot. Some schools do, but not a lot. And yeah, it just means that they just don't know what cricket's about, really, a lot of it.
Dartford are another club with a rich history dating back as far as the 1720s, but it's the here and now that has some there worried about the state of grassroots cricket.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to have an effect, definitely got to have an effect. If it's available to the masses, the more something's being viewed, then, and not necessarily when they're choosing to view it, if it's on and it's available, then more people are going to take an interest. The problem perhaps with Sky or pay-per-view TV, people are going to pay for TV, but they're going to pay to watch the TV they want to watch. Whereas, if it's on terrestrial, it's just on, and it's readily accessible. If someone wants to watch cricket, they're going to watch it. That's, if you're targeting from a young age, you want people to casually see cricket, and that's where, that's definitely, in my opinion, would have a big effect.
All I'm saying is that the ECB's decision has to be, they have to make a decision between more money in the game through companies like Sky putting more money into it, or more exposure by putting cricket back on free-to-view TV. It's a very difficult decision, I get that. And if they're going to take the money, which it seems to be the decision they've made, if they're going to take the money, then they have to use that money not only for players' salaries, but to get people interested in cricket at school level.
The BBC has a list of sports crown jewels which must remain on free-to-view television. They include the FA Cup Final, Wimbledon, the Grand National, and international football and rugby matches. Cricket, though, is not on the list. For many young people, this might be the only way to watch their national team. Websites like this offer streams of cricket for free. The problem is, these streams are often poor quality, hard to find, and most importantly, they're illegal.
Again, selling the game to youngsters, making it exciting, making players household names, I suppose the see it to be it ethos, that's not working for cricket at the moment in my mind. So I do think it's massively important, and terrestrial TV, or certainly no pay TV or internet these days, would be, I think, a massive way to sell the game to young people coming through it as well.
Ian Gutteridge is the chairman of Hollingbourne Cricket Club and has seen the effects of falling participation firsthand, as Hollingbourne struggled to find the numbers to put out sides last summer. Those that remained, including Ian, now play for Bearsted.
You can put all the funding out there, you can put all the support, but if you don't have the critical mass of numbers sometimes to make it work, it is very, very difficult.
Live sport is really important. So I don't think it matters what the format is. The 100 ball thing, I think, fine, get some cricket on free to view TV. That's got to be a good thing, and I think that's the ECB being sensible. Let's get some live cricket on free to view TV. It's got to encourage people to play the game.
Do you think that's partly the ECB being aware that we need more exposure?
Yeah, no, I think
it can't just be about the money.
I think they realise that although they've had loads of money has come into the game, which has been a good thing, they are aware that there are very few youngsters who can afford to access. I mean, if your dad likes cricket and you happen to get Sky, great. But I think the ECB realise that fewer and fewer, and they probably hear from the clubs that they're struggling to put teams out, and that's got to be the reason, in my view. Although, Sky getting involved and other broadcasters getting involved has brought lots of money into the sport, and you hope that trickles down to grassroots. But of course, it only affects grassroots cricket if those people are turning up to play, and I think that's the problem.
Kent is possibly the only county in the country bucking the trends of falling participation. Even then, big clubs like Dartford and Bearsted aren't immune from the pressures grassroots cricket faces. Speaking to the clubs, however, I started to realise there may be other issues at play.
You look at football, for example. Football is available on Freeview. You can watch it on BBC every Saturday night, and the FA Cup and all the things. But football, there's a lot of people watch it, but participation in that is falling as well. So I don't think you can actually pin the blame on TV. So it's definitely not a help, but I don't think it's such a huge hindrance as it may be considered to be. You can make an argument for it, but I don't think it's the actual ultimate problem.
I think it is a multitude, but it's a combination of all factors. Modern life, modern society, even with terrestrial telly now, there's a multitude of channels. So it is complex, but if you can chip away at each area, so if you can chip away inner schools, communities, national TV, how it's projected, its image, you can chip away at all them points. You can try and improve the numbers that are playing.
David Patton has been the Bearsted chairman for 3 years now, and, like Ian, believes TV rights don't deserve all the blame for any drop in participation.
And so it's not about, I think, the desire to play cricket. I think there's quite a lot of interest still in playing cricket. I think, unlike kind of maybe 2 or 3 generations ago, or a couple of generations ago, when cricket was the centre of people's weekends and leisure time, and therefore they were willing across their families, both husbands and wives and children, to all participate in weekend activity of the cricket match. I think there's a lot less of that now, and therefore kind of it may look as if the numbers of people playing are kind of reducing. But I think it's more to do with the kind of the additional side of cricket, not the actual players, but more the volunteering and support side.
The village I live in the summer, some people who care a lot go along and they have nets with the kids and they try and get people involved, so they're doing a good job, and I'm sure they're supported in some ways by the ECB in various ways. But without them, I don't know where kids will play cricket, to be honest.
The challenge is that there's a lot of effort that's required in club cricket and in kind of running small clubs off the field, and I think there's a lot more opportunities and a lot more activities that younger generation coming through can now kind of fill their time with. Unfortunately, that generational mentality kind of moves forward into sport as well. And cricket is the only sport really that has this time pressure, time demand on people. You know, football, people can go and play football. It's a weekend, it's maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of your time, and that's why kids enjoy playing football. Rugby, the same. Many other sports is a case of you turn up, you commit to play, you play for a couple of hours, and then you go off and do something else. Cricket, in this current generation, you expect people to turn up, play for the entire day of dedication, even when a youngster, as you're trying to do your studying or your exams, or your or you want to go out with your mates, or you want to continue binge reviewing later on in the day or whatever. But that shouldn't stop you or impact your ability to be able to participate in the game.
What's the way forward in terms of reversing that?
I think it's a very, very difficult thing, because I think what we've seen probably is the last 30, 40 years of, I think people's lifestyles have changed. People have so many more distractions and alternatives to do. I think certainly some of the younger generation don't want the longer game of cricket. It's a long afternoon out, and playing league cricket, you're playing 50 overs. You might start a game at 12:30, be out all afternoon and not get home till 9, 10 in the evening, which, if you've got a family, makes it very difficult. Some of the younger lads, it was hard for them playing at a longer game at that level. I don't think there is an easy solution to it, though.
If we don't embrace the fact that the kids want to do different stuff, you'll lose them before you have a chance to make them into 50 over or even more in the future.
Yeah, money's not everything, but I think they're coming round now, the ECB, to thinking, well, actually, we do need to have our sport available to everyone. I think Colin Graves was saying last year that we don't want to be the richest niche sport in the world, and they are very much in danger of being that.
So what does the future have in store for grassroots cricket? And is the ECB's new competition, the 100, the answer to cricket's problems?
I think unfortunately what's going to happen with cricket in general in villages is that it's more, you'll end up with probably less clubs, but with more players, more of people who want to play, players who want to play cricket. The playing numbers will remain about the same. Youngsters, less youngsters maybe are going to get involved at the moment, and I think you probably need to work out ways in which you can engage some of the youngsters, and we're trying hard to try and bring a lot more youngsters through, and I know that the ECB and Kent Cricket are also trying very hard to encourage younger generations of children, younger 6, 7, 8 year olds to come through.
Whether it'll really establish itself as the summer game or even as anyone's second favourite game is a big question, but that's for obviously the governing body to try and put forward. If they do get an entirely new audience for their new competition, I mean that should show in participation and enthusiasm for the sport across the whole.
Live sport is really important, so I don't think it matters what the format is. The 100 ball thing, I think, fine, get some cricket on free to view TV. That's got to be a good thing, and I think that's the ECB being sensible.
The 100 is a gamble as to whether that will bring people in hand over fist, or even just have a substantial increase on the audience and then feeding down to participation. It could be big. Obviously there are loads of different thoughts, certainly from traditionalists. It's one format too far. T20 is working massively well. This is the ECB's card, really. The governing body in England should try and sell the game to a different audience. It's a massive gamble as far as I'm concerned, but it's one that I suppose for cricket in the future probably has to work for English cricket, because if it doesn't, I'm not sure where the game goes, certainly in terms of selling itself to the public.
The idea that club cricket should move towards a shorter format has been suggested by players and ex-pros as well. Nottinghamshire bowler Harry Gurney has taken to Twitter to air his views on the future of club cricket after retiring from first-class cricket this summer. Whether
you can bring an audience into a format like the 100 that will then appreciate Test cricket is a different matter entirely, but I suppose catch 'em young will be the theme. If you get kids when they're 6, 7, 8 madly enthusiastic about cricket, hopefully they'll explore all the areas of it rather than just stick to one format.
I've come away from this in two minds. I came into it believing that cricket being behind a paywall was the sole factor holding the sport back, but now I'm not so sure. What is clear to me though is that the game has to change to capture the next generation, or risk being left behind for good.